Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ballers Take Flight. On this episode, we will be going over the most ridiculous transformations in NBA history. Make sure to stay till the end of this video to find out these transformations of some NBA stars. If you're new to this channel, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. Dwight Howard. Individual success in the NBA is a delicate thing. The impact a player has on the league can hinge on so many factors, including natural ability, work ethic, coaching, and on-court. But sometimes, it's ultimately a player's diet which makes or breaks them. Just ask Dwight Howard. The 8-time All-Star maintained a truly horrendous diet until relatively recently, and for a long time, he got away with it. Equipped with a chronic sweet tooth, Howard was especially obsessed with Skittles, chocolate bars, honey buns, and cream pies. His problems weren't just with sugar either. Howard claims one year he ate McDonald's before every game, with his go-to order being 2 double cheeseburgers, large fries, small fries, a strawberry chocolate milkshake, and a large Coke. Dr. Kate Shanahan, who was the Lakers team nutritionist when Howard was struggling to overcome back surgery in 2012, suspected the big man's diet was contributing to his physical problems, according to ESPN. Shanahan became so sure that Howard's immense sugar consumption was causing the tingling that she told him if he cut back and didn't notice a difference, she would resign. After removing boxes of junk food from his house, Howard stayed off the sugar, and sure enough, the tingling faded. He also embarked on a 30-day program which involved eating just one meal per day and filling those foodless gaps exclusively with apples and nuts, all while maintaining an intensive workout routine. Howard also swapped out McDonald's in favor of lean chicken and fish, and replaced sugary drinks with kale juice and beet juice, making himself the second most famous Dwight with a taste for beets. Dennis Rodman. His growth spurt transformed him from a scrawny 5'6" wannabe to a 6'8" gazelle who could dunk. He landed in a summer league and was eventually discovered by Southeast Oklahoma, where he became a 3-time All-American, despite persistent racial slurs in a community that was hesitant to embrace an African-American supernova. He was an improbable success story, but it was always complicated because those emotions were so close to the surface. By the time he was drafted by the Detroit Pistons with the 27th pick of the 1986 draft, he was estranged from his mother. His father was forgotten, an apparition, until one night in 1997 when Rodman was playing for the Chicago Bulls. Rodman says Philander appeared at the practice facility before a shoot-around on game day. NBA Hall of Famer Dennis Rodman opened up about what could have saved him from having a bad reputation in the league. From the late 80s to early 90s, Detroit Pistons were widely regarded as NBA's bad boys. The name may have spoken for itself, as the team was known for their extremely physical style of playing. However, for Rodman, the term bad boy eventually didn't just end inside the basketball court. In his exclusive piece on ESPN's The Crossover, Rodman revealed that his sudden transformation from being an electrifying basketball player to the NBA's bad boy came naturally, Sports Illustrated reported. The Pistons legend also believes that the actions that brought him to fame during his career would probably be viewed somewhat differently in today's NBA. More importantly, behind all the scandals, drama, and glamour, Rodman was fully aware of the only thing he needed. According to him, unlike other rebellious and arrogant athletes, he longed for care and love, while he was at the peak of being labeled as a menace. At the time, the Detroit Pistons' days of dominance were slowly fading away into the shadows. Rodman was somewhat depressed. On top of that, he also felt suffocated by fame and the limelight. At that point, Rodman wanted to be normal and stay true to himself. On an April night, he sat in his truck with a gun on his lap. Fortunately, the NBA star managed to get away from what was supposed to be suicide scenery and opted not to pull the trigger. Instead, Rodman claimed he mentally shot an image of himself who he didn't want to be, and then he fell asleep. Chris Anderson. Chris Birdman Anderson is one of the most fascinating figures in the NBA. He was the first player ever to be promoted from the D-League to the NBA, and got kicked out of the league in 2006 for violating the drug policy. He has since gotten clean, been reinstated, helped the Denver Nuggets reach the Western Conference Finals in 2009, and is now a major contributor off the bench for the Miami Heat. Oh, and he has perhaps the most impressive arsenal of tattoos in professional sports. But he hasn't always. Birdman barely had any tattoos his rookie year. Just a couple of small line drawings on his arms, but nothing really noteworthy. His right arm began to fill out during his sophomore season. On his right shoulder, he now had an outline of someone dunking a basketball. During Birdman's first season with the New Orleans Hornets, the drawings on his right arm began to be filled with color. After serving a 2-year ban for a positive drug test, intricate, colorful designs dominated both of his arms and spilled onto his chest. The skull with the crown on his left arm is a highlight of his new look. The following summer, Birdman signed with the first team he ever played with in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets. He was a force off the bench for a team that surprised many by reaching the Western Conference Finals. And yet, there was still visible skin on some parts of his arms. The best was yet to come. The red wings on each of his inner biceps became his signature look for Birdman. He flaps them as a post-scoring celebration. There are also some other interesting oddities, like the pair of red dice and the dead end sign. And wait, what's on his neck? It says Freebird across his entire neck. It works because his nickname is Birdman, and because he's apparently a huge Lynyrd Skynyrd fan. And what about those stars on his earlobes? By 2012, Birdman's body had achieved peak canvas levels. After being waived, Birdman spent much of his season working out before being signed to a 10-day contract in January by the Miami Heat. Since then, he has become one of their biggest factors off the bench, providing a defensive and rebounding spark. Marc Gasol. Toronto Raptors center Marc Gasol was among those who underwent a massive physical transformation during the NBA's nearly 4-month hiatus. Gasol lost a bunch of weight and, much like Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic, practically looks unrecognizable. Now, as the Raptors prepare for the NBA start, the veteran big man clarified his rationale behind shedding all those pounds and suggested he had not played to his full capabilities all year. Interestingly, Gasol had been immensely effective in his individual role. While it is true, he has not been much of a volume scorer since coming to Toronto last February, Gasol has supplied the Raptors with exceptional interior defending. He's also a terrific passer and floor stretcher, as he was shooting over 40% from beyond the arc on 3.5 attempts per game in the 2019-20 campaign. Perhaps Gasol can be a more assertive offensive player off the dribble, or while facing up in the post. He might look to get out and run in transition as well. Additionally, the weight loss might result in the Spaniard being even more effective as a help defender. Regardless, it is clear Gasol felt the need to change something during his time off. He will now hope to lead the Raptors to back-to-back NBA titles at the restart in Orlando. Giannis Antetokounmpo. The transformation of Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo has been quite an amazing ride, and it seems that the 2019 NBA MVP isn't done yet. The Athens native has come a long way from selling CDs and watches in the streets of Sepolia, now becoming one of the biggest international stars to hit the biggest league in the world. Antetokounmpo's evolution has been awe-inspiring, to say the least. A young Giannis Antetokounmpo entered the 2013 NBA draft after an impressive 2-year stint with Philatlitikos of the Greek B Basketball League. The 18-year-old was officially listed at 6'9" and only 215 pounds. Though a lot of teams were intrigued by the international prospect, Antetokounmpo was left untouched in the lottery and was snagged by the Milwaukee Bucks with the 15th pick. Decent numbers for a skinny rookie still learning the ropes, but nothing all that exciting. It was in his second year when the world would really catch a glimpse of the forward's potential. Giannis continued to grow both in height and weight, which eventually translated to a better game overall on the court. His incredible physicality was slowly starting to come to the forefront. The 2016-2017 NBA season showed the league that Giannis Antetokounmpo was inching his way to becoming a force to be reckoned with in the league. Antetokounmpo was continuously bulking up and was starting to develop his game even further. The 22-year-old also made his first All-Star Game appearance that year, becoming the youngest player in Bucks history to be named an All-Star. Giannis also became the first player in NBA history to finish the season in the top 20 in the league in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. He was named Most Improved Player for his efforts. The next season, Giannis Antetokounmpo became virtually unstoppable, putting up 26.9 points, 10.0 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.4 blocks per game. He finished 6th in MVP voting, setting the stage for his crowning achievement to date in the 2018-19 season. By the time the 2018-19 campaign rolled around, Antetokounmpo claimed he had gained a whopping total of 51 pounds of muscle since entering the NBA back in 2013. Now standing at almost 7 feet and weighing around 260 pounds, the Greek Freak was fully living up to his nickname. Steven Adams. Oklahoma City's Steven Adams is probably the most lovable guy in the NBA, but that lovable face wasn't always as it looks now. His unique New Zealand accent, coupled with his total effort on the basketball floor, make it pretty hard not to love the guy. And while his manly, scruffy appearance may help him look good now, he actually looked pretty different back in the day. The rookie year Adams has a much different look about him than the current hardcore tough guy Adams. No doubt, this little transformation is probably one of the grandest we'll see for a while. And regardless of how irrelevant this topic actually is, you gotta admit, it's pretty dang cool. What do you think of these transformations? Hey, don't forget to comment below which ballers you would like to see next time on Ballers Take Flight. That is all for the ridiculous transformations in NBA history. See you in the next video.